Hey everyone, welcome back to another day of our Arts for Lawrence summer camp. I'm your camp instructor Sam, and today we're making Kente cloths. So Kente cloths are really neat for a bunch of different reasons, but before we go ahead and get started on what I like about them and how I think this project is super cool, I want you guys to learn a little bit about them first. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys something, and then we'll come back, we'll get started on our project and make some beautiful Kente cloth masterpieces.
Kente is a cloth from the West African country of Ghana. Its origins can be traced back for centuries. Intricately woven, it's often highly colored and was initially created for royalty. Now it's worn at celebrations like graduations and weddings, and it's also become an important export. There are more than 350 Kente cloth patterns, and many of the designs have their own meaning. Different colors represent different things. Blue is for love and harmony, yellow is for prosperity, and green is for growth. Much of the production takes place in a small village in the Ashanti region of the country. With a population of around 29 million, Ghana is a relatively small country, but Kente can be found around the globe.
Pretty neat, huh? So, my favorite part about these is how we have so much symbolism going on into each cloth, whether it be the pattern or the color combinations. Either way, you put it together and it's such a beautiful way to communicate well wishes for others, as well as something you might be feeling in your own personal life as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what you need. So you're gonna need your scissors. Now, although I wish we could do it with real fabric, we're gonna be using construction paper today, a little bit easier to work with, especially being at home. You're gonna need one full sheet of either black or white paper. I know from projects we've done so far, I'm almost out of white paper, so I'm gonna use my black paper, but again, that's up to you, one of the two. If you don't mind, mine's a little wet from a previous project. You're gonna need 3 pieces, or at least half of them, of other construction paper. So as mentioned in the video, different colors represent different things. So I'm gonna go ahead, after I list all the other items you're gonna need, I'm gonna show you some of the meanings behind each color, and you can pick based on that. So again, 2 to 3, you don't actually need 3, but you can, I said up to 3. We're probably only gonna end up using about half. All right, these are my 3. You're going to need your pencil. You're gonna need scissors, and then oil pastels or markers. If you picked a black piece of paper versus the white one, you're probably gonna end up using the pastels, but it doesn't hurt to have either one or both of these available to you, because you're gonna use them for your construction paper as well. You also need your ruler, which mine's over there, so I'm gonna go grab it while you guys all look at which color construction paper you're gonna use for your Kente cloth. All right, so let's get started. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your black or white piece aside, and then you are going to take each of your colored sheets, whether they be 2 or 3, and you are going to fold them long ways. So that would be, I believe, the hot dog folding style. This is what one of the reasons you might need your ruler. I'm gonna just fold it like this down the middle. And I'm going to cut. Okay, it's not completely perfect, but we wanna try and get as straight a line as possible for this project. You're gonna do that for each of your colored construction paper. Now, obviously, if you mess up, or you need extras, you do have these available to you. I just want to make sure we're not using more than we actually need, because we might have to use some of these colors in later projects this week or next week. All right, so you have your slips here, and now you're going to go ahead and you're going to take your ruler And I would say nothing smaller than inch width of a stripe down the long way. And you're gonna do that as many times as you can. So I think they should all be about the same unless our measurements are way off. But we should be able to get 4 strips, it's kind of hard to see, 4 strips per color. So that, I'm gonna do it this one as well. All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this aside for now. Probably won't need it again. So just go back in there until we're ready for them. Now, this is where you're either going to use the black oil pastel or marker here. But you're going to make designs going long ways of each of these strips. Now, this can be kept very simple. You can either just do lines across, you can do them horizontally. I've seen some people do zigzags. You can do some kind of swirlies if you want. You may have noticed though on some of those examples that we saw in the video, they try to keep, it seems like they try to keep a lot of it linear, meaning a lot of like straight lines. But again, that's up to you. Just keeping it simple. I'm gonna go ahead and just use some diagonals. On the yellow, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna do some horizontal lines. And then I'm gonna go long ways. Okay, so this is my first one. You can do all of them at once and then cut, or you can do them one at a time. So just for the sake of time for you guys, I'm gonna show you this one. So I'm gonna get my scissors back out. And I'm going to cut on those lines that I made with my pencil earlier. So not cutting based on the marker, we're cutting based on that. So maybe we're gonna have 4 strips. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for my other 2 colors as well. All right. I got my 4 strips from each of my colors. And now I'm gonna put those aside. And now it's time to take my white or my black piece of paper. Again, if you're using white, you can just stick with the markers. If you're using black, you might wanna work with the oil pastels. But you're gonna go ahead and create your own kind of pattern, as intricate or as simple as you want. So I've seen people leave it completely blank. That's completely fine as well. But it's up to you how you want to decorate your piece. But it should be something kind of similar with the strips here, where you're doing all kinds of designs and using those lines and those patterns versus drawing pictures like we did yesterday on our cave painting, where we drew like animals or people. So again, this is very pattern oriented. I'll go ahead and show you guys while I'm working on this, the colors again, so you can kind of decide if you want to stick with the colors you picked for your slips, or if you would like to draw in some other symbols as well with your colors. So. Okay, once you have your pattern on your black or white piece of paper, so I have a bunch of different patterns. I have some checkerboard blue up here, got the zigzags. I have some designs around some yellow diamonds. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna fold this paper the opposite way that we did the strips. So what this would be like a hamburger type fold. Those of you familiar with that. Now, the key to this one, since we're not cutting it in strips, is we need to make sure we're leaving a border because we're kind of doing that paper snowflake type concept like we've done in the past. We did it with the stained glass earlier this week. So again, you're not going too close to the edge. I would say probably no less than ½ inch. And I'm just gonna go ahead and you're just gonna draw a line. Same thing with the end. So I have my ruler at the very tip of my paper, but I'm not gonna draw my line that far. I'm only gonna go probably up about about 3 or 4 inches. And I'm gonna do that all the way across. Again, we don't wanna go thinner than 1/2 inch. Now I know this is kind of hard to see, so I'm gonna tilt it in the light a little bit. But again, I'm not going to the very edge, and I also have some room on the sides. I'm gonna leave it folded, and now cutting on the edge that's folded. So not the open part, but the actual edge itself, where the paper is right down the middle. I'm just gonna cut on those lines. Again, not cutting strips, just cutting straight lines. You kind of want all the strips to be, or excuse me, all the cuts to be about the same length, and you'll see more in a second. So then you should be left with what looks kind of like a little bit like a lantern if I was to fold it that way, but you should see your pattern still. Now we just have all these things. So now I'm gonna take my paper horizontally, and I'm gonna start using my strips, and I'm gonna start weaving my way through. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start with the first slip here, or cut here. I'm gonna go under, and then I'm gonna go over the next one, under, over, under, over, under, over, and then you're left at the end. So we'll trim those in a second, but you're gonna use each of your colored slits in your black or white paper where you did all your patterns on. And feel free to put it whatever order. If you want to do all of one color and then all of the next color, if you want to do a pattern of some sort, that's fine. So again, I got my one strip. I'm gonna go with my second one. And I'm gonna go the opposite this time. So I'm gonna go over and under, over and under, over and under, under. I know I'm going kind of fast, just because I don't want to bore you having to watch me on when you have fun with your own project. But again, be careful so that you're not ripping the slits that you made in your paper. You should be able to push it so it goes as close to the other strip as possible. We have a little issue here, but nothing I can't solve. So this is what I mean when I say alternate. So with the orange slip, I went under the first piece here, which is why you see the black on top. With the yellow, I started there. So we might have to work with our glue a little bit. I know I didn't tell you to get that in the beginning, but let's just play it by ear and kind of see, once all these pieces are in, how we want to deal with the edges. Okay, again, make sure as you're putting these strips through that you're gently pushing the slips so that they're kind of right back to back. We want to fit as many of our strips as we can into our paper. It looks like I'll be able to get one more in, so I did orange, yellow, blue, let's do orange. This guy, because it's a little different than the other ones I've done so far. Right, under is my first one. Over, under, over. I'm gonna show you guys. Over, under, pull that back up, over. Again, you gotta be careful on those edges. I don't want to tear, since I did make mine kind of close to the bottom. Under, over, under, and over. So that's that weaving portion. All right. So here is mine so far. Now you can, several options. You can leave the edges as they are. If you want to, you can always tuck them back. If you have some tape at home, that might be easier. You probably could use a little bit of our glue. We don't want to use a ton because we don't want to make a mess on our beautiful pattern product. So you could either tape these back if you wanted. I'm just gonna fold mine. I think this will kind of give that cool fabric look to it, even if they are sticking out a little bit. But again, if you wanted to tape them back here, you could. So it'd be like this. But there you have it. So again, I'm gonna leave mine like this. But you've made your very own Kente cloth with construction paper. But still, just doing the weaving and really thinking through the symbols that each color represents, as well as coming up with those different patterns. It's pretty awesome. So I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see the final products, and let me know if you have any questions.